Hi and welcome to this video, and in this video I'm going to be talking about custom lights in Velostrone tracks and just give some guidance on how to use them, things that you can do with them, things that you shouldn't do with them, and how to get the best effects for your particular track. Now this started with the designer of this track, which is the Contatto GP 2025, asking me how I would improve the lighting in this track, because he wanted this kind of twilighty type look to his track, but it created some quite long shadows, and you can see in here when you get down that there are areas of the track which are sort of in shadow and a little bit dark, and could probably benefit from slightly better lighting. And then there are other areas of the track which are lit a little bit better, like over here, where it doesn't really need too much. So I thought I would go through and show how you could improve the lighting in this particular track. So to do that, we need to go to the effects folder, and at the bottom of the effects folder you'll see that there are these 4 light objects. This one here is like a little glow stick, so there is a little glow sticky type object, and then the light emanates off of that glow stick, and you can change the color on this slider. You can change the range, so that's how far the light spreads out. So you can see if I put it all the way up, it spreads a long way, all the way down it doesn't spread at all. And the intensity, so that's how strong the light is. So you've got range, intensity and color, and normally it's a mixture of range and intensity that gives you the look that you want, and then you have various different colors that you can choose from. Okay, so that's the glow stick looking light. There's also one here where you don't actually see a glow stick in the picture, it just looks like light, and you get this big ball. So this big ball is really just to allow you to select the light, but when you load a track up, this will be missing and you'll just get the light that emanates from it. So this is an invisible light object, if you like, that just casts light in your scene. Then we have this one, which is like a kind of wall light. So you would put this on the wall and the light projects out from it, from the wall. And then the last one here, this is like a ceiling light, so when you, or strip light, so when you look up at it you can see, if I turn the intensity down a little bit more, there you can see there's like two strips in it that are generating the light. And some lights are more intense than others, so you get various options. Okay, so let's just delete that. What we're going to do is we're going to use one of these ball lights like this, and we're going to place these strategically around our track just to give us some extra lighting and some extra visual interest in different areas of the track. So as an example, if we look at this area over the back here, if I just come a long way out, and this area over the back here which is in shade, we'll move our light over. Oops. Move our light. And you can see what it's illuminating as you move it, but we can move our light over here, for example, and then lift it up slightly, and then you can see it's now casting a kind of bluish tone on there. So we can just kind of have a play around here, and we'll choose the white light at the moment, and we can change our intensity a little bit, turn our range up a little bit, lift our light up, and now that gate is way more illuminated in those shadows than it was with a kind of brighter white light. And that's the process really, is to go through and place lights to illuminate areas that you want to illuminate and provide some more visual interest. So I did that for the whole track, so rather than just go through that manually, I'm just going to load up my modified track. There we go, so there's my modified track. And now if I zoom out here, you'll see that I've got various lights on the track. One here, one here, one over here, one here, and one here, and one there, and they're just creating some extra visual interest around the track. So you can see if when you're flying into this set of gates here, you can see that there is some yellow illumination all the way down this tunnel now, which gives it a little bit more interest. And then over the back side of this gate, I've lit up the back of the gate here, so you'll come through and back through here, and this will be lit up. So if I now switch into flight mode, like so, and jump to my track, what we'll see when I come down here is we've got some lighting here, which is just casting a red light on the here, and then this is the yellow one I was just looking at, and you can see there's some light being cast on that from one side, and then you can see this is where I put the blue light, and we come in through this way and you can see that's lit, and then this one's lit with some purple, and then the white light that kind of just lit this gate up that's in shadow and just gives it some better visual clarity for the track. And when you're racing it, you're probably not going to notice that there's a blue light, a purple light and that sort of thing, but you are going to notice that there's a bit more visual clarity for each of the gates as you're trying to fly through it. And the same for this tunnel here that I did. When you fly down this tunnel, you'll see the lights lighting up that area of the track. So rather than just sort of chucking light absolutely everywhere, I've been very strategic in how I've placed it and used only as much as I need to create the effect that I want. So if I just go back now, let's just jump back into edit mode. What I want to point out here is that for each of these lights, what you'll notice is that I've avoided overlapping them. So this light here has a sort of area of influence here, this light has an area of influence here, this one an area of influence here, this one a small area here, this one a slightly larger area here. But none of these lights are overlapping, and the reason I've done that is because when the simulator renders your scene and draws all of your objects and lights them, it will do a render pass, and for every light that is affecting an object, it will do that render pass again to put the light onto it. So if you have multiple lights lighting this gate, for instance, it's going to draw it for each of those lights, which means that you're going to spend time drawing the same object multiple times. So you don't want to put loads and loads and loads and loads of lights in your scene with all of their light overlapping each other, because you're just going to create a slowdown in the frames per second of the simulator for people on lower specification machines or less capable graphics cards. For high-end graphics cards, they're not going to be bothered at all by these lights, or even lots of lights, or even lights overlapping. I mean, it will slow down a little bit, but not significantly. But on lower specification machines that don't have as efficient graphics cards and pipelines to deal with lighting really efficiently, then you will slow down those machines and create problems if you just throw light absolutely everywhere. And I feel that with lights, just using enough to create the effect you want is all you want to do. You don't want to create a Christmas tree of a track where there's just light absolutely everywhere, because one, it's not going to run well on lower specification machines, and two, it just doesn't look that good when you light absolutely everything and have lights absolutely everywhere. It just becomes blinding for the pilot. So you're just using the lights to create some separation between the gates in this instance and the background, and I've just used it to elevate these gates that are in shadow and give them a little bit more highlighting. So that's my quick kind of talk or tutorial on using lights in the simulator, how to use them, what things to watch out for, what not to do, i.e. put lights absolutely everywhere. And hopefully this is useful and allows you to customize your own tracks and use light to spice up your tracks a little bit and give them a little bit more visual appeal for the pilots that are racing them. Okay, that's it. I'll see you on the next video.